Welcome to Digital Nation, your regular rundown of the best of local telly. Whether it's the uncommon, the unusual, or the unbelievable, we bring you the stories you just don't see anywhere else. And this week's show is chock-a-block, as we return to some of the items that caught our attention in 2016. From floating Fatbergs and seaweed sculptures to a steam-powered Scotsman, there isn't a county we've left unexamined. So, we entreat you, our dearest digital delegates, to recline, relax and rejoice in the cultural, the caring, the historical and the unique as we explore these incredible isles we call home. First, we travel from London to Lancashire, Solent to Cambridge, and end up in Newcastle. There's unusual art, unusual food, unforgettable music, and a unique, one-of-a-kind musical fan. Because over the course of 365 days in 2016, Digital Nation served up a delectable dish of colourful culture and a side plate of seaweedy style.
Fatbergs are becoming increasingly problematic for the capital's sewers, and engineers have to break them down manually with a shovel before they can clear them out with specialist equipment.
It occurred to us that fat as a substance itself is not looked upon, of course, very nicely. It's part of the obesity problem, you know, it's part of health issues. And so we thought, let's open up our minds towards this stuff and explore what it actually really is. But the inspiration really comes from this substance expressing itself. If you want to take it from this perspective, it's just, you know, amazing. It's an amazing thing. If you go down there and you see it, it's a completely different world. It's a complete new ecology that never existed before.
We're hoping with this project to really look at it again from multiple different angles, to see exactly what fat is and what it could potentially be if we look again with a different kind of pair of eyes on it.
A new report out says that black puddings are one of the superfoods of 2016, mainly because they contain a lot of potassium, iron and zinc and very few carbohydrates. Andrew Holt has won many awards and he's actually a Knight of the Black Pudding. So if there's one person to give us a cookery lesson, he's the man.
It's no news to us, actually. We've always extolled the virtues of black puddings and we've always known that they've been a superfood, especially good for expectant mothers, people with anemia, the elderly. It's a really good product. All black puddings have one main ingredient, which is blood, obviously, but all black puddings will have some sort of cereal content, onions, rusk. In our case, we use barley. In the case of the gluten-free, we use brown rice. So basically, you're just putting blood, fat, onions and cereal content together, and then obviously with our product, the secret is the herbs and spices that we put in there.
The high amount of seaweed that's been washing up on Emsworth's shoreline has been a cause for complaint for many locals and beachgoers. But artist Karen McDougall has found a way of turning the slimy green material into unusual creations.
So I've heard a lot of people complaining about the volume of seaweed this year, and I just started to look at it and examine it and think I could do something with this. I just started to experiment. Things started to appear on Twitter, people asking, does anybody know who's done them? And then a friend of mine took photographs and then sent it off to the local newspaper. I think people have looked at it in a positive way, whereas the seaweed, as they've been complaining about it, it's dirty and it's in the way and we don't want it. And then it becomes something. I think people are familiar with seeing it in sand, but not familiar with seeing it in seaweed.
Now back home in Cambridge, Hope has been practicing on the precious gift given to her by legendary singer The Boss. Hope's mum had taken her along to a Bruce Springsteen concert, not expecting that she'd become a central part of the act.
He was singing Promised Land, and during that she was on another chap's shoulders and she was waving along with the music and he was waving, and their eyes met literally from a podium just a bit further away, and he carried on waving and she waved at him. And then he just walked around as soon as that ended and handed her the harmonica, which was just incredible. And at that point, the crowd kind of erupted around us. And I just thought, well, that's it. There's no way he's going to sing Waiting on a Sunny Day after that.
But he did. And the video taken by a member of the audience has gone viral across the world.
Okay, Grayson. Yeah, because I hop up on the metro. No dough, I keep my head low. Don't talk, you see my headphones. I'm practicing my next flow. I link the homie Soulsby. We go to where the pros be. Snapping selfies, ain't no smiling, homie. Keep it stony. And every time we come to town, we see the same kids around. Used to think that they was cool. I guess that we know better now. I got work at 9 a.m. I arrive at 5 to 10. Traffic, ain't no traffic, kid. I guess I gotta lie again. This just be the life I live. But I'm gonna make it big. Change it up so I can hit my haters like I guess I win. Get my mama double doors, staircase, marble floors, move out to a penthouse. Hired help to do my chores, couple milli in the back. House in Chile and in France, making tracks that hit me back. Like, would you like a cash advance? Till then I'ma struggle, homie. Cheeseburger double, homie. Keep me in the studio working until they know me, homie. Right.
Life could be tough, but what we've learned from our local telly channels in 2016 is that we're a nation of lovely, warm, kind-hearted people. And that even in the most challenging of circumstances, there's caring compassion everywhere. Solent had the unstereotypical story of a fearless firefighter, and Made in Birmingham met the Bennetts, who have been fostering young people for over 40 years.
We've been fostering for 40 years, and we've had 179 placements.
The couple have been together from the age of 14 and hit their early 20s when they first began to foster. Over the past 40 years, Alan and Jackie have not only fostered 179 children, but went on to adopt 10 of them. 19-year-old Chloe was 20 months old when she was adopted by the couple. Even though 21 is the minimum age to become a foster parent, it's definitely something Chloe has on her mind.
Why would you want to take up fostering in the future?
To help other children out, to let them have a better life than they already had in the past. So.
And why do you think that's important?
So they get the life that they deserve.
Alan and Jackie are one of the 2 couples in Wolverhampton awarded with MBEs on the Queen's New Year's Honours List. Councillor Val Gibson, Cabinet Member for Children and Young People, believes fostering is a truly life-changing experience and is proud of the couple's achievement.
Born as Peter, Katie Cornhill knew since childhood that she wanted to be a girl, but she hid her true feelings from her friends and colleagues for many years, until she decided to go through with a surgical intervention.
My transition, you could say, started the day I was conceived. So it's been a whole journey for my whole life. Transition can happen in several ways, or a few ways. Basically, the main way that people transition is socially. And they were all very pleasantly comforting to me. They reassured me, no, don't worry about it, it's new to us and we'll deal with it as we go. I was very open for them asking me questions. When I do my job, all I want to do is be competent and efficient and effective at what I do.
Katie now uses her personal history to raise awareness about transgender issues and to fight the flames of exclusion and discrimination.
Returning to school for the first time in 7 months, and to a hero's welcome. 10-year-old Maisie Lossor was diagnosed with a brain tumour in January this year, a condition that's left her unable to walk, talk or breathe properly. Her parents, Dawn and Daryl, first noticed something was wrong in November when Maisie started to see double and developed an eye slant.
Our world fell apart the day that he told us that she had a brain tumour, because it's not what we were expecting. We thought she might have a trapped nerve, and that's why we'd taken her to the doctors in the first place.
Back in February, she underwent major surgery and had 80% of the tumour, who she'd already nicknamed Bob the Blob, removed. And she's now on the road to recovery. It's not just her family, though, that are proud of her attitude. It's her school, too. And the proceeds of Bignell Primary's fate are being donated to help Dawn and Daryl make life at home easier for Maisie.
Hassan has cerebral palsy, which affects all 4 limbs. The signals from his brain are weak, meaning he previously couldn't walk at all without the aid of a rollator.
Basically, the doctors told me, Hassan, if you want to stay on the walking frame, then you need to go to a gym, you need to get these muscles working and get the blood flow and get active basically so I can be independent.
It took a long time and a lot of work on confidence and coordination, but finally Hassan took his first steps unaided. Hassan being able to walk unaided has been a big help to his family as well, as it's improved everyone's quality of life.
When you have a disabled person that is a family member, and for the family it's very difficult for that person to go out and do things for himself, and I don't need somebody with me like a support worker or a PA. I can do a lot myself, I can speak for myself, and it's great.
And now Hassan says he wants to be an inspiration for others with a similar condition.
To be honest with you, a person with a disability should not cry over his disability. He can do whatever he wants, or he can do whatever a normal person does, but you just do it in a different sort of way.
Sweet, spiky and cute, but in need of urgent medical attention.
We've got over 50 on off-site care at the moment. They can't be made in hospital because they're on very strict feeding regimes, so I've lots of very busy members of volunteers at home caring for them.
Cambridgeshire is lucky enough to have one of the few Hedgehog Hospitals in the UK, with a dedicated team that's been working for 25 years to help them. But hedgehog numbers were predicted to be around 30 million during the 1950s, and currently stand at around 1.5 million. Hedgehogs are declining at a similar rate to tigers at 5% a year, and even though they are famously elusive creatures, Cambridge residents are encouraged to help.
And that brings us to the end of part 1, which can only mean it's quiz time. The world's oldest sweet shop is in which county in the UK? Is it A, Devon, B, Norfolk, or C, Yorkshire? Join us in part 2 for the answer. Welcome back to Digital Nation. Before the break we asked you, the oldest sweet shop is in which county in the UK? And the answer is C, Yorkshire. The high street store called the oldest sweet shop has been selling sweets in the market town of Pateley Bridge since 1827, specialising in boiled sweets, and is listed in the Guinness Book of World Records. The United Kingdom has a fascinating history, and over 12 months, Digital Nation dug deep to uncover the bounty of buried treasures it has to offer. A special exhibition in Glasgow brought together radio officers and honoured their now historic profession. And we met a celebrated centenarian photographer who chronicled the London Blitz.
I went for a walk through the city and I came across this view of St. Paul's Cathedral through a ruined window to remind people what it was like in this town. It's to show the devastation of London by the Germans, still meant to scare us. I went down to Piccadilly Circus and I took a picture of the crowd. They were singing and very peacefully enjoyed the end of the war.
A manuscript offering a look into early Mexican culture has been uncovered at the Bodleian Library. A team of 3 researchers have managed to find delicate works underneath a 5-metre long strip of deer hide. David Howell was one of the researchers.
There have been previous experiments done to try and reveal sort of what's underneath the surface. So there was obviously something there, but we wanted to find out what it was. In 1956, they said this will never be discovered, and they gave up. And so we've proved them wrong, and we have shown there is another codex underneath what you can see on the surface.
So why exactly should we be excited about the discovery?
They're a relic of a civilization that was there's no other memory of this civilization after the Spanish conquest, but now they're fantastically important because they are just the remnants of the sort of Miztec, Aztec civilization that we sort of read about in our history books, but this is the sort of evidence for it.
With the scanner still in use by the team, who knows what will be uncovered next?
Before motorways were built, people
basically lived and died in the one area. The growth of the motor car and the motorways being constructed as a result of that have resulted in people being much more willing to move about. You could easily go to Edinburgh and back from Glasgow a couple of times a day. 60, 70 years ago, that was probably pretty much unheard of. The idea of motorway artwork along the M8 was actually raised by the Scottish office in the mid-1990s, and I believe one of the first proposals was the pyramids just at Livingston. That was followed by the three heads just to the east of up to the west, sorry, of Newhouse. There's the horse, of course, at Easterhouse, and the trumpet, of course, as well, around about Hart Hill on the M8. So there were a number of things that popped up.
Here today at Blanes and Kinneil Railway to see a bit of history, the legendary locomotive that is Flying Scotsman.
Well, today is a very special day for us. Flying Scotsman, just here, is a famous icon which everyone seems to want to see. So it's staying with us today for minor servicing before it goes back out on the main line again tomorrow.
I enjoyed working on these things, and I never ever said, oh, I'm going to eat my what. I used to love to come out, and there was nothing nicer to get your engine all ready, nice and clean, get it stocked up, sitting on that seat there. It was a pleasure. I loved them, I really loved them, they were great things.
There was a time when the British Merchant Navy was certainly one of the largest in the world, and the position of the radio officer was an exceedingly important one on board ship.
I did change the radio officer because my father had taught me Morse as a lad. Came 17 years of age, and I understood then that the Merchant Navy were desperate for radio officers.
The purpose of the exhibition here is to educate the children and those who want to know something about the profession which is now obsolete.
Everybody knows that one, because it's like riding a bicycle, you never forget.
And we're very, very grateful to the Tall Ship for permitting us to house our little exhibition for the public to see, to learn a little bit about our profession and what we did.
There are plenty of contenders for the title of most unique county in the land. And some of the characters that have helped propel their hometowns to grab the gong include some wonderfully wacky taxis, and let's not forget, a secret group of nutty knitters. So here's our pickings from the Digital Nation archives of the UK's most eccentric characters.
A man from Preston who's turned his house and garden into an artwork will feature on Channel 4's Britain's Weirdest Council Houses. Jamimani Rad, who came to Preston 16 years ago, says that there's a serious aspect to his art.
I'm from Austria. I'm born in Iran. When I was in Austria, I had the pleasure to know and to work with the artist called Hundert Wasser. He was perhaps a successor of Gaudi, and he believed that if you bring some art, public art, to people, to the area, it will affect people's behavior. And I witnessed that. He was very right. He chose one of the very rough areas in Vienna, and he put some artwork outside. He changed the way that area looked.
Guys would ring me up, or girls would ring me up, and they would say, look, it's my husband's birthday or my wife's birthday. The girl gets in, or the guy gets in, they'll see the champagne, and then I'll start performing, singing songs from the American Songbook and all them great tracks.
I've been up, I've been down, I've been over and out, but I know one thing. Each time I find myself laying flat on my face.
1, 2, 3, up! London Cabbies are a breed of their own. They're iconic to London, and we've all got little eccentricities and little things that we do. There's 25,000 London Cabbies out there. There's a lot of guys out there that have special attributes. They're not only taxi drivers, but they do lots of other special things. I know lots of musicians that drive cabs, and there's magicians, and there's jugglers, and there's all sorts of guys that do things outside of the box, if you like.
I've been a puppet, a pauper, a pirate.
Hello, taxi for Richard?
Many of us know what it's like to get the same old taxi service, but in the Solent area, there's one man at least who aims for your ride to be anything but normal. And when I went to meet the Gully Gully Man, I was greeted by some interesting sights.
So when the customer approaches, I normally have that fake sick. That's a very good icebreaker. If he comes to the front, if I can see him a little bit quiet, I would just say, oh, sorry, it's just a joke for the kids or something to... if he's like done a big deal out of it, I play along. If they go in the back, I offer first water and sweets and things like that, and I throw the odd jokes. I would say the only magic trick I do with the box that you can't open, because I love magic than jokes, and it is a simple trick, but no one can get it. Very few people got it, so I take my hat off to you if you got it. Oh, that's a magic rabbit.
Well, that was one journey I will definitely never forget.
The village of Longridge awoke last week under a blanket of yarn. The nutty knitters had been at it again. We can't show you their faces, but rest assured there's more needles than ever among the ranks.
You sort of get drawn into it, and I think we realised that there was scope to do these yarn bombings.
Lots of planning, lots of cups of tea, lots of pieces of cake. You can't craft without cake.
Months of planning and hours of secretive installation have seen a makeover fit for a queen. Lampposts with Grenadier Guards, a Union Jack flag, and even the crown jewels.
I didn't think I could possibly make something like that, but with the encouragement of the rest of the team, the Nutty Knitters, I thought I'm quite proud of that.
Well, surprise, I'm Lynn Ruth Miller, and I'm your future.
They've given me 10 minutes up here because I think that's all the time I've got left. I can hardly blame them. My passport number is 6. I've had so many body replacements, they don't give me concessions anymore. When I go through airport security, it sounds like I just hit the jackpot in Vegas.
I enjoy being mature. When I hear the complimentary whistles that tell me I still have it all, I smile and I stroke all those bristles of the guys in the walkers down the hall.
And that completes our annual compendium of the best of local. If our stories have warmed your hearts, then don't forget there's more you can see on each of the local TV channels' websites. Or why not catch up on previous episodes of the show by visiting bbc.co.uk/Digital Nation. So until next time, goodbye.